The woman who was just talking is Matija, and she's actually from Paradigm, a founder at Paradigm Effect, and also the chief of operations at Buzzy Games. So all the people here now in Berlin in the audience will give a very big round of applause for Matija, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear them?
Yeah.
Yes. Also, great. Awesome. Our other guests are calling from India, and I'm very, very happy that both of them are actually joining us for this panel, because we're going to listen to stories about Minecrafting and how this is influencing also homeschooling and tech education. And you both see them on the screen, and they are Namya Joshi and her mother Monica Joshi. Applause. Awesome, awesome. I must admit, and I'm very sorry, Sean, but Namya and Monica, you are the highlight for me of this day here in Berlin. And I really, I run around and rallied for all the people to come to the panel and see a mother and daughter talking about this, because it's actually so, I mean, it's so impactful what has happened with COVID, and now parents have to deal with their kids all of a sudden, and the education, as I have also experienced here in Berlin, and we don't know how to do that. So we are going to listen to all of your stories. But of course, as you also see him on the screen, Sean Tierney, he is director at Microsoft Asia, and there he is focusing on teaching and learning. And of course, we are all now using Teams, so super excited that we can also listen to Sean. Welcome to our panel.
Thank you very much. And I'm also very happy just to listen to the stories of great teachers and students. So.
Yes, and where are you at this moment, Sean?
I'm in Australia at the moment.
In Australia,
in
okay.
South Australia.
Yeah. So what time is it there now?
It's just gone 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Okay, so this is the last thing you will do today, or?
No.
No. Okay, so we'll keep it short.
This is my highlight. This is the fun part. Yeah.
Oh, this is the fun part. Okay, but you don't know how the rest of the panel will go. No. So, but lovely greetings from Berlin. We have it now. Local time is 11:30 in the morning. Yeah, we're still all fresh and lots of energy to go and listen to what you all have to say. So first, let's do a very quick introduction round, and we will start in India. So, of course, Namya, you are the most important person on this of the whole panel. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So, hello everyone, I'm Namya Joshi, and I study in grade 8 in Mittal School, Ludhiana, India, and I am a Minecraft whiz. I'm also the winner of UNESCO Club's Worldwide Youth Multimedia Competition for creating a virtual library of books mapped to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs 2030. And I believe that each one can teach 10. I've also conducted multiple Skype sessions with many countries for teachers and students alike on the use of Minecraft and other ICT tools in their classes. Besides this, I'm a budding writer, yoga practitioner, and a voracious reader.
I'm just speechless. Great, fantastic. Big round of applause here from Berlin, ladies and gentlemen. So awesome. So great public speaking, but also Minecrafting. So tell us a little bit, Namya, about Minecrafting. How big of a role does it play in your life?
So, I'll just tell you how I started playing Minecraft. First of all, I just had my laptop with me, and I was just doing some project of mine, and I saw something called as Minecraft in it. I opened it and I explored, and I just wanted to see what is that. And then that day, I had also won a competition. So to reward me, my mother gave me the access to it. Then I started playing it. Earlier, I only used to think that it is only for playing, but then there was a workshop conducted in our school in which we had to just train teachers that what is Minecraft and how we can use it in the classrooms. Then I understood how we can take it to a higher level. Then I started creating lots of lessons in Minecraft, and my first lesson which I created was the Egyptian civilization. That is from history. And then I started creating more lessons, and I've also trained many teachers, not only in India, but also in abroad, that how they can use Minecraft in their classrooms.
Okay, so just to be clear, Namya, your mother isn't forcing you to do this, right? You have a
No,
free
I love
will,
it.
and okay, yes, okay. So Monica, Joshi, you actually you saw your daughter starting to do this, and so what was it like to see her really using Minecraft as also a way of to creatively express herself?
It was like I was astonished actually. She converted her one of the creative writing into the Minecraft because we just had gone to spend our summer vacation. And I was actually thinking, being a Minecraft global mentor, I was in a doubt, and I was a little apprehensive that how I have to introduce it into my school. So when I saw that Namya's interest and she's hooked into making lessons into it, I said yes. I got my first warrior. That okay, she is going to create the lessons, and taking her as a motivation level, passed it on to the other students and yes, to the further teachers also. And now at this point of time, we are using Minecraft in all part of the lessons. It has to be to introduce any lesson, be it to develop any lesson, or even to sum up and take the evaluation also. Game-based learning is always a better way to engage the students and to pass it on your creativity also to others.
So Matija, if you watch Namya like enjoy what she's doing and listening also to Monica talk about how to practically use this, I mean, for you, of course, also gamification and using games to actually learn and to teach is also nothing new, right? So how are you then using this in your daily life and in your business where you're at this moment?
So at Buzzy Games, we have this huge vision to get 100 million kids creating, collaborating, and playing games together, because games are our children's languages. It's the easiest way to communicate with them. I have a 10-year-old son and he adores games, loves Pokemon, all those sorts of things. We also use Minecraft. We do Minecraft build challenges. It's wonderful seeing students have that ability to engage their imagination, to think outside of the box, to know that anything is possible. When you're brainstorming a game design, if you want dragons, you can have dragons. If you want, you can envision and imagine anything, and that can be created in a game. And it's having that capability of opening up their minds. Nothing is off limits for them. So that's what makes me really excited. We have a team-based approach as well. What's important for us is that collaboration aspect where they can sort of, feed off of each other and understand, oh, this child has a really good idea, or how about we work together? And I've seen children who are shy or reserved or not, they don't have much confidence. And then by the end of creating a game and releasing it and seeing other people playing that game, they just, they really come out of their shell. And that's the kind of thing I really, really love to see. I spent much time over in Japan and I've loved games since I was a kid. Japanese is actually my second language. So I've been involved in the game industry for many years, and I've seen the work of Microsoft in releasing Minecraft into schools. My son's played the Microsoft education. At Buzzy Games, we're very much on the same page. But what we've highlighted as well is how we can make it accessible and usable for teachers, because there's so many great technologies out there that we can bring into schools. But to have that harmonious synergy between technology and teaching, we need it to be easier for the teachers to communicate across these mediums, so using games in this case, because we're not wanting to add to more of the things that the teachers have to upskill and adding to the load that they have to carry. We want to give them a simple, fun way to speak their kids' languages, to get them engaged in learning and enjoying that process. So that's what we're working on at Buzzy Games.
Yeah, did you targeted kids before already, and who do you sell the games to? Is it directly to the children, or are you now also targeting schools, because those worlds are now kind of colliding, also under the influence of COVID-19?
Yes, COVID moved us ahead so fast, because a lot of people had said to us, oh, that's never going to work, because, people would rather, code camp, because we're a fully online based service. And people are like, oh, well, how are you going to compete with, other businesses that have in-person camps? And then when COVID hit, suddenly it completely switched from people wanting to prefer, being able to drop their kids off to something, to wanting to keep them home safe, but also have them engaged, socializing and creating. So for us, that just really skyrocketed us. We had massive amounts of growth thanks to COVID. And we've learned so much from this about what those barriers were before and how people have overcome those. And it really does come down to people being more used to having to use technology, which, due to a lot more people working from home and the expanse of Zoom, I think everybody knows what a Zoom call is now. I think it's very hard not to know what a Zoom call is. So that's made it a lot smoother for us, because people have prior experience of using these kinds of platforms to communicate. And we target schools mostly. So over the past 2 weeks, I've actually taught over 30 classes, and these have been in regional areas where more than half of the students in the school do not actually have access to internet at home. So we're getting out to those rural areas that really need the support. And we're able to Skype or Zoom into a classroom and deliver these activities. We had a group of 15 kids create an online trivia game in a matter of 10 minutes and release and play that game together within the classroom, which was really, really cool. And we've repeated this experience over 20 times over the past 2 weeks. And we've had amazing feedback from the teachers. We also have direct classes that people can register through online marketplaces. So in the US, we have OutSchool. In Australia, we have Skills and Thrills. So these marketplaces have also experienced massive growth. So we're not even needing to really market this education. And we're finding that we have really strong re-enrollment rates, because parents have realized that their kids are getting that opportunity to be creative, to build on their critical thinking skills, and to also socialize, because one of the things as a parent myself I've been concerned about is my child feeling isolated. So this way, we're answering all of these pain points for parents all over the world. And it's a beautiful experience to see that happen through a medium that kids themselves really enjoy.
Yeah, there's nothing worse you can do to a kid than to turn off the Wi-Fi nowadays. I mean, I can tell from experience, this is the most horrible thing that they then appear to go through. Sean, I mean, I don't see or I don't experience Microsoft as like being so much into gamification and games. So how do you see yourself then as being coming from Microsoft from that direction as director of teaching and learning? Is there a fit, or is it basically more like using games and then actually what do you then offer into this package of being there for the kids and in the education scene?
Well, that's a big question. So first of all, my background is I am a school teacher, a school leader. So I come at everything from the perspective of what is good teaching and learning. We've talked about Minecraft. Obviously, Microsoft bought Minecraft because we saw huge potential to achieve our mission, which is to empower every student on the planet to achieve more. But, a great teacher already uses games, right? That you can change the dynamic of any task by turning it into a game. You can split a classroom in half and give one half a challenge and another half a challenge, and turn on the increased cognitive discretionary load, if you like. Kids will get more engaged. A teacher should be trying to gamify as much as possible. And that extends into simple things like how we grade papers, where we used to give an F, which tells a child, you failed, you're not good enough, you didn't do whatever. It sends a bunch of mixed messages. When you play a game, it says game over. And to a child, that means, oh, well, I'll just try again and I'll get it right next time and I'll improve and I'll work harder. And bringing that language of games into the everyday makes it much more engaging and supportive for all kinds of kids. But what technology does is it brings in another level that you can gamify things micro to macro. You can take the gamification concept, make it accessible to everybody in just so many more different ways and formats. And so the idea of Buzzy games, for example, talking about coding, we're big advocates for skills and coding and helping kids to do that, because not just because it's going to prepare them for the future as a coder, it's going to turn their brains on. It's going to ignite a whole lot of connections and get them excited and thinking in a lot of different ways. Just like in some countries, you have to learn piano for the first 3 or 4 years of school because it helps you with maths and a whole bunch of other things later on. Helping kids to think through gaming and algorithms and that kind of logic can, we can show that can help them in a lot of other areas in life. And so the technology platforms that we bring in are there to help people to do more, to gamify more, to support other people. Most of what happens is built on the Microsoft stack, so that you can go and build something on top of it and make it more exciting and more available to everybody. But I don't. That's totally in line with our vision.
I'm sorry for this. I mean, I'm not in a schoolroom or not a teacher, so it's really hard for me to imagine what concretely then a product or like an infrastructure or an application layer of Microsoft would bring to me as a school or as a kid. Could you name some of the examples?
Sure. Are we sticking to gaming here, or can we go beyond that?
Beyond, I mean, it's about education in general. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that came out of COVID was a lot of people realized they weren't ready for remote or hybrid learning, and that from infrastructure right through to end user application or access or device or internet. What we found though was that there was a whole lot of kids that were disengaging from the learning process because they maybe had a Zoom call once a day or something, and then worksheets for the rest of the day, or they're sitting at home and completely disconnected. Social and emotional well-being is a really important thing to balance while students are in a hybrid mode, whether they're completely remote or a bit of both. You'll see a whole lot of things coming into our products now that are continuously assessing the child's mood, how they're feeling, how they're responding to life. So you can start picking up and detecting problems. So a teacher can make an intelligent intervention. Imagine the way that we think of data is, as one teacher looking after 30 students, I can notice certain things about my students, but if I had 3 or 4 teachers standing next to me and their only job was to notice the kids, who's doing well, who looks disengaged, who's had a fight at lunchtime, who's broken out of their sports groups and is no longer participating, etc. Those 4 or 5 teachers notice these things and they say to me, look, that child over there is, some things are not looking right. Go and talk to them. Rather than kicking them out of the class and sending them to the principal's office, I might go over and just say, are you okay? Now, we don't have 4 or 5 spare teachers, but we have data that can help us to identify patterns and things that are happening to students that you would never pick up as one teacher with 30 children. And all of a sudden now we can sit there and go, wow, okay, I can see some risk factors or some areas where I can stretch my learners, or areas where I can just get in pastoral care and make sure they're okay as people. When you're doing that across a remote blended environment, some kids are at home, some are at school, you have to be even more supported with that kind of information. So you're seeing that coming into all of our products now across the stack. Little faces that you can click on to say how you're feeling asynchronously, etc. Does that help answer your question? It's a big question, so I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's also a big topic. But is there something like Microsoft Teams for the classroom?
Yeah, so what you'll see in Teams now is we do have Teams for the classroom. We're about to bring out the concept of breakout rooms. We've got the feedback coming in there now. You'll see it. There's also things that support teachers, like what are my students doing at different times of the day? So I can look in through Teams. You can get it now as a teacher, and it says here are what my kids are working on at different times of the day when they're touching their technology. And that's useful for me as a teacher because I can say, look, I've got kids that are in year 4 who are working at 10 o'clock at night on stuff they shouldn't be, that they should be doing during the day because I want them to have a good sleep. Or I can see that this topic really engaged my kids and that these 3 students are collaborating on that or whatever it is. As I'm wanting to bring project-based learning in, it's important for me to be able to monitor who's doing what and with who and what are they really inspired by. So that's all coming in through Teams. You'll see that now. There's a whole lot of, you can go to microsoft.education.com and microsoft.com/education and have a look at all the new announcements for Teams there.
Ah, okay, very cool. Namya, what would you like to do if it was up to you whole day long and in school? Would it be only Minecrafting, or would you also still do other things?
Like during this lockdown, I was engaged constructively through my online classes, where I had my classes through pre-recorded modules for the first month and then live classes further. So thinking that this lockdown will only continue for 15 to 20 days, I did not alter my routine. So I started taking online classes, FOC, with students alike and other teachers in India and abroad on various applications like Minecraft, Flipgrid, Python, Adobe Spark, and even graphic designing like Photoshop. But the lockdown got extended, and then I realized that the screen time has also got increased, and even I'm missing like eating food with my friends and having long talks with my teachers.
Oh, great, great. And Monica, how have you seen that, like the digital behavior of kids has changed since COVID-19? Because I mean, we have a Microsoft on the panel. We're talking to a game producer or a gaming platform. But I mean, you also want to have them to give them some offline time, right? So how do you manage to do this?
So we were having like the yoga classes, and we were actually sending them the modules and the exercises, pre-recorded exercises, so that they could relax themselves. We were sending the art modules so that they scribble and they do some paper cutting, scissor work, and all, so that the locomotor skills should also work. And also a kind of a spiritual well-being Shanti mantra we have in India. So we were sending all those so that the screen time and the other things are balanced, and the social emotional learning is also taken care of. And also the teachers were sending them the greeting cards, that through the online module. So that was actually taking care of, I think, the balance. So yes, we did that way.
Yeah, and of course, in the case of your daughter, this all works super well. You can obviously see that. But in your experience with larger groups and helping also training other kids to to build stuff in Minecraft, do you think that this in principle can work for every kid, or is she the exception?
No, it can work with every kid. Like she is doing because she saw something constructive in it, and is now, you get motivation when you are acknowledged. But yes, with Minecraft, with gaming, if you involve the teaching learning practice and the normal classroom management also, so every kid can do it with that, with the multiplayer, with the class mode material. So the kids can be involved and they can, kind of produce solutions around the problems, or be the project-based learning. So every kid can do that. It's not difficult. And I can tell you the case studies we have in our school. Like it has been used for students. Minecraft has been used for students, those who were having the learning disabilities. So it has been used to take their test, and after working into this game, using the the development, using the lesson, so the child's getting learning perspective and the perceiving of the concept, that increased a lot.
And do you have any contact to Europe or to Germany or to Berlin so far, asking you, hey, how do you do this? And are there already German schools, for example, that ask you, could you help us with these kind of like teachings?
I would really love to do so, but then yes, I'm having it in Denmark. The Tsunami actually provided the training to those kids over the weekend. But yes, if Germany schools would like to connect with us, we are more than happy with that.
Yeah, this is very good to know. Matija, do you have a large customer base or already clients in Europe or in Germany?
Yes, we do actually, and the UK also. So Outschool is one of the largest online education marketplaces for the US and the UK, and we do have people from Europe booking classes with us on there also. And we are always looking to do more school-based projects and train teachers to also similarly to how Minecraft is delivered in classrooms, but us also. So we trained teachers in North Queensland, far North Queensland in Australia, who had not had gamification or used many tech programs within their school. We gave them 2 hours of training and they were able to deliver the modules on just 2 hours of training. So the way that we've done it is we've streamlined this process to the point we've made it as simple as possible. So it's very intuitive for the teachers, even with no coding experience whatsoever, to be able to get their kids engaged through creating games and using JavaScript based on the way that our Canvas and our IP works. It's very, very easy for the teachers to use. So instead of increasing that load, it's kind of like lightening it and allowing them to teach really great content without having to have really heavy intensive lesson plans surrounded with that. So yes, we're always looking for schools to work with, and as an individual, you can go onto marketplace platforms that you can see us there.
Yeah. Because I mean, we don't have a German school or a German party here on the panel, but since I've been living in Berlin also for 10 years and I have my own kids going to school here, I can tell you that your situation sounds way better than the situation actually in Germany and even in Berlin, which is quite a big city. Because, for example, the teacher of my daughter is around 60 and she actually went to school to send emails because she didn't have an email client at home she was willing to use because it was her private email. So she biked to school for 30 minutes to send all the kids or the parents of the kids an email to ask them, hey, how are you doing and what do you do? So in Germany, lots of the time, most schools are very much digital illiterate when it comes to those kind of practices. And this is also why maybe, Sean, you know a little bit about the situation in Europe as well, or do you have any context there? Because actually we would be begging all of you to come here and to show us how like a digital world for also within schools could be also helpful for kids to use their fantasy more, for kids to being also able to grasp the feeling, hey, everything is now possible. I can create it by just sitting behind a desk and a screen, and it's also more than just only learning. But Sean, is there something that you can respond to, something that you recognize or context that you might have or experiences?
Well, we have a great team who support Europe. My counterpart over there is based in Helsinki, actually works very closely with the Finland Board of Education, as you may know.
Yeah.
Very well regarded globally as an education leader, doing some amazing stuff. She's somebody who would love to talk to you guys about specifically what's happening in Germany, because that's part of what she looks after, but I don't really have much context on what's happening in Germany, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's. I mean, it's really like a paradox that we talk all the time about digitalization and the companies machine-to-machine learning, but the kids in school don't even have internet or a screen in their class here in Germany at this so-called like sophisticated economy. So I think that this is really something where it could also help us and teach us a little bit on how this is being done. Maybe there's somebody in the audience who would like to contribute or ask a question, then please stand up. I can give you a microphone because I see people now here in the audience jumping on the occasion. You would like to? Yeah, you can ask. Yeah, please come forward. Please tell us also a little bit about yourself and your own background. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tina, and
The camera's there. Yeah.
yeah, my name is Tina, and I'm an AsiaBerlin ambassador. I'm also founding my own company right now. But my question is for Monica Joshi and her daughter. Absolutely mind blown. My daughter is almost 13, and we have constant fights on how her technology time needs to be reduced. Could you please advise on how this can be balanced and how do you manage that? Especially, and I would also love to hear your daughter's perspective. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Namya, okay. Excellent,
So it's as an
absolutely
answer.
mind blown.
Thank you so much. If like she's doing a lot of work on the laptop and there's increased screen time, then she can manage her time well by creating a timetable in which she can like write that from this to this time slot I have to do this. Like not every time working for the school projects or like studying online, but the time in which you are like whiling away, you can do something constructive that will help you to reduce your screen time, and also it will help you to learn something new rather sitting like all the time playing multiplayer and playing games. But that help you reduce your screen time if you manage your time well and follow it properly.
Is this a good answer? Yeah, she's nodding her head. I cannot do this. I think you have to come to Berlin and counsel them. Yes, yes. If you could be the mentor of her daughter, she's asking now. No, you don't need to reply. But it's really bad. She's almost crying here in the audience. You may cannot see this, but she's really desperate. She wants to
You
only
can get
Minecraft.
time to art and reading books as well. If you like, if you want to reduce your screen time, you can also read books, do art, because that will help you to enjoy. And after some time, you will love it more than even seeing or like doing multiplayer on your laptop.
Okay, thank you. Great. Are there any more questions from the audience? We have 7 minutes until the end of the panel, so no more questions at this time. So looking at the future, fundamental changes now through COVID and the digitalization, the opportunities that are now arise through digitalization. Sean, starting with you, what do you think, what will the future of our children's education look like in your opinion?
Well, that's a good question. We spend a lot of time talking about that. The thing that COVID has done there's a couple of things that it's done that are in our favor. The first one is it's helped people to understand the business case for where technology can support learning. So you see a lot of CIOs around the region, around the world, who are saying, I no longer have to go in and try and present to CEOs or to the executives, the directors or the ministers, why this matters, because everyone understands the compelling case. The other thing that's been good is we've seen a lot of examples of where students who have been previously disengaged are now completely engaged. The risk, though, is that lots of countries, like you've just described is happening there, are saying we're not ready and are rushing headfirst into just buying screens, thinking that's the solution. And the future of that is bleak. If the systems run out and just buy a bunch of computers and turn them on and give them to teachers and think that's going to solve the problem, then there's going to be years of stepping that back and learning the hard way. What we've learned over the last 30 years of deploying technology in the schools is that there's a process, and while you can speed it up a bit, you still have to follow the steps to make sure it's right. You have to focus on the fact that, and this is the vision for technology, is that it can allow kids to do things that they couldn't do before at levels of complexity that they couldn't access before, and to engage them in ways that we couldn't engage them before. And that requires some structure and some planning and some infrastructure. So what we've seen here from Namya and other students around the world who are engaging in technology and just inspiring everyone with what this makes possible, we should be seeing children lit up like that all over the world. We should be seeing children who want to come in their spare time and talk about their learning and be able to articulate it the way we've just heard tonight. Because for me, when students understand what they're learning, how they're learning, and are inspired by it, that's an exciting future. And technology just helps them to make that journey faster and to bring more kids on that journey.
But very, very cool. Lots of insights in that, focusing on the process. But adaptation-wise, I would also expect, like as a human being, we'd like to have some kind of hardware or device or interface at least. And if you say, okay, there's not a screen, what will it then be without the personal contact?
I'm not saying there's a next big thing on that front. I'm just saying to everybody, don't rush out and buy screens. Follow the process. The thing that's the most exciting, so what are the big trends that we're seeing that we should be excited about now are the data trends. The ability to start recommending the right content at the right time for the whole person. So that sort of thing, which all of this starts with data and being able to recognize patterns and to balance people's learning preferences with the things that they don't want to do. Sometimes learning is hard work. Being able to engage students who are disengaged, being able to support students who need extra pastoral care. Being able to understand more about the people who are our children and what inspires them, being able to connect them using data to careers that they are going to be happy and prosperous in. Okay, so they're the sorts of things that we're thinking about now. Beyond the screen, how do we attach people to productive, inspiring, high contribution lives? And that's what data does or can do. It can also do other things. Yeah.
No, but super, super inspiring. Matija or Namya or Monica, you want to respond to that, or?
Yeah, I would like to say that, with technology, it's about having a harmonious relationship with technology. We'll never remove the teachers from the classrooms. We will never be a fully technology in the future. We're not going to have this cybernetic future where technology is now the caretakers of our children and their education, their future. I do not see that as ever being something that comes to pass. But what I do see is aiming to have more harmony between the teachers being able to use technology confidently and to understand why it is beneficial and how it can be beneficial for children to nurture their creativity. And you can use technology, it's how you use it, your attitude towards it, and that may be different for every classroom and every group of students. There's so many different dynamics in place, and so many children who are they're individuals, they're creative, they're different. So therefore, having a blanket approach to how we do these things is not going to work. So we've got to look at a way that we can have a level of flexibility and harmony within the classroom. So for Buzzy Games, for us, it's about giving that power to the teachers in a way that it's not adding more to their load, but it's a simple way. And so we're a web-based platform, so there's no need to download a program. It's very quick training to understand how to use it. There's a lot of customization and flexibility, and then that is passed on to the students. So that flexibility these teachers have to, what, we're going to do a game about history today. We're going to build a trivia game using our Buzzy canvas. And like I said, in our classrooms, we had students who did not have access to internet at home, students who came from disadvantaged or far and remote areas, who were able to get online, log into our Buzzy platform and create a trivia game with over 100 questions in it and play it in a matter of one classroom session. Yes. And that's just incredible to see that happen from people who are essentially computer illiterate and from teachers who have not really engaged with technology in their classrooms before. Yeah. So it's, as much as we're speaking the children's language, we're also bringing those teachers in to be able to speak that language as well. So for us, it's how can we seamlessly put the power into the teachers' hands, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are benefiting our children's futures, and they're going to be the ones that nurture those skills. They're going to get them ready for the future of work. And we all know that the most desired skill for our kids these days is creativity, because the problems we're solving in the world, like the SDGs that Namya mentioned before, they're going to need creative solutions.
Yes. Monica, how do you see this transition happening from the current education system into a more flexible environment where, based upon data, you can offer a student a personal learning plan?
So actually, I would agree with Matija. She said that the students that we are dealing with today, they are from the Generation Z. So it's very vital that we talk the language that our learners understand. So I would go back to the very basic, that is ABC. So it's like that. It's very important. We should be aware that what actual need, what we have to see about the actual need and versus the expectations of the learner, so that we need to access and revisit the various initiatives so that we are able to take the initiatives that are need-based. And also it's time now that the teachers who are training these or meeting these generations, these children, they should actually build the competencies so that there should be a scope of improvement and enough room for experimentation for both of them. And as now, after this emergency, what we have faced right now, there is time to change now, because this change is the only constant. So it's very necessary to have, IT integration with the amalgamation of the AI and the coding skills, which should be introduced, from smaller grades. And also, it's the time need of the hour that we should introduce skill-based courses in the higher education, so that our learners, they can become self-reliant actually.
Yeah, I love that take on the education, and there's so much work to do in Germany. I can tell you, in Berlin especially. I mean, this for us is really like a sneak peek into the future of what could be possible one day here in Germany. So in that regard, it's very, very inspiring to listen to all of your stories. Thank you so much for that, Namya. So it's so cool to listen to you. Thank you for everything that you've contributed so far to this this panel, and we all love to listen to you a bit more. So, are there some final remarks, some closing statement that you would like to make?
So I just want to say that I want to go out and play and enjoy with my friends. My one ask is when I want to go for a holiday, because it's been a long time I've been stuck at my house. I need to go be in the school and see my friends and teachers. I don't know when, but I know very soon, and I'm very positive about that because my blood group is B positive. So I would say that a cheerful heart has a continual feast.
Okay. So how can we follow your adventures, Namya? Do you have? Can we see what you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis somewhere?
Yes, I'm having my YouTube channel that is Technocrat NJ. So I post different tutorials about the technology and the things that I'm learning. I keep on posting that on my YouTube channel, and also having my Twitter handle. So I even put all the tweets over there or whatever I'm doing and whatever I've made to share with the people.
Yes, so it's amongst other things a YouTube channel, which we are now all going to subscribe to. Everybody that is here in Berlin, of course. So could you one time repeat very slowly the name of the YouTube channel?
Technocrat NJ.
Technocrat?
It's TECHNORAT&NJ.
It's Technocrat NJ.
Okay, yeah, everybody is typing it in now on their mobile. It was so cool. So thank you so much for joining us here on the AsiaBerlin conference during this panel about the future of tech education. Thank you so much all for your time. Sean, I wish you a lovely, good rest of your evening. I hope you will get some productive work still done behind your screen. Don't work too long. That's not good. You will not be fresh and inspired in the morning.
I've got a bit of Technocrat NJ to watch now, so might be a bit
long. Exactly. Yes, also greetings from Berlin to Buzzy Games. Yes, everybody is now on their mobile. Yes. And thank you, Monica, and especially you, Namya, for being such an inspiring example of how the future of what the future of education looks like. Thank you so much here from Berlin. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. It was an honor to be invited here.